Hello, Anurag.
Hello.
Hello.
I couldn't make it back home today. I hope it's not too bad, the noise.
Okay.
Is it?
It's a bit robotic and a bit background, but I guess it could be fine. Where are you then? Are you traveling or?
No, there was a presentation at my son's school. So
Okay.
we went there to see his presentation, but then he still has some lesson and we have to pick him up after school.
So you use your laptop microphone or?
Yeah, I'm in a cafe not far from the school, and
Okay.
but there is some noise.
Yeah. Okay. It's a bit robotic or metallic, but I think I hear at least. That's no problem. So let's try. Have you heard from anyone if they plan to join or not join or anything?
No, I have not heard anything in particular.
Okay. We could wait another minute and see what happens.
Yeah. Let's start sharing.
So maybe we should get started. It doesn't really look like anyone is joining. See what we can do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's make maybe a quick one. The two of us. Yeah, I'm sharing the agenda.
Yeah. I see it. Yeah.
Okay. So first.
So did you get any answers on the?
Yeah. So I got 6 responses.
6. Yeah.
So I think mostly people are interested in joining the alternate time. In terms of time, there is not like a strong winner, but it's, yeah, like 10 UTC and 11 UTC are the most voted ones right now.
Okay.
In terms of preferred date, it looks like any day beginning of the week, and they get the same amount of interest. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I think I was hoping to get some more responses, but I think in general it's positive towards setting up this new meeting.
A reflection from my end was that I looked at my calendar, my work calendar, at the same time when filling in the poll, and I realized that, well, some days it works good sometimes, and some days it works good in other slots, but it was a bit hard to say generally for any weekday these times are good or bad or such, but as I have some recurring meetings during the day, certain days which might conflict.
Yeah, sorry, I probably didn't choose the right tool. I mean, I can make another poll, but I didn't want to, got already some responses on this one, and I thought, okay, if I make another one, then it will What I can do, I mean, I can try to set up an invite, and if it doesn't work, then I can change it.
Or maybe just post make some posts in the CDEvents channel on certain slots and days, and then people can do thumbs up on the ones that fit them best or something.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
If you have like 4 or 5 different options there, taken from the top times and days, and ask people to vote in Slack.
Yeah, I have also a lot of, not mornings, but I also have a lot of meetings that happen every 2 weeks. So depending on which week. So yeah, I'll make like specific dates. So
one thing that strikes me as well is that there might be conflicts in the CDF calendar. I'm not sure if that's a big problem. I know before we said that we shouldn't conflict with, for example, the best practices SIG and those and some other, and the interoperability SIG in the beginning. So we tried to pick a time slot that was not conflicting with anything that people could want to join as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Check the calendar before you propose something.
Yeah, I'll just avoid conflicts. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I agree. Okay. For the existing meeting, I think most people definitely would like to stay where we are today. I know going later would be a problem for. I mean, it would be not very convenient for sure for everyone in CET.
Yeah. I don't know what to do, because there is, of course, an issue attending at 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it is Pacific time. I totally see that's a problem for many people in Pacific region. But I mean, that then the option could be to have 3 different slots instead, but that's not good either. So you can't really say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with the new meeting in the morning, I guess that should be more accessible to everyone in CET, right?
Yeah.
But if the other meeting we make it so that it's not easily accessible by people in CET, then we would kind of need to try and split topics so that folks more interested in certain area, maybe working on the SDKs, so forth, they can meet in the evening, and discussion on the spec we do in the morning or things like that.
So the idea now is it to keep the SIG meetings bi-weekly and then have weekly vocabulary meetings, but alternate between the APAC friendly time and the EMEA friendly time.
Yeah, that was my proposal.
Yeah. So we will actually have more meetings than today. I mean, it will not be harder to attend the meetings. It will rather be more occasions to choose from. If you look at that way. No, but I think it's good. So then I think the SIG meetings will be even more like logistics and that kind of topics. And then the vocabulary meeting should be every week, I guess, then, but alternating times. Right?
Yeah.
Then we'll see how we proceed with the SIG meetings in the autumn, and if we should keep them or have a more dedicated group for those tasks, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Well, I still hope we would get presentations from people involved, and if we get POCs, maybe that's also a good place where to do demonstration demos. those and get them recorded.
Yep.
Okay. I guess we don't have a really a good decision for this change, but maybe we can start doing the new meeting and keep the time here. See how it goes.
Yeah, I don't have a clear picture on who joins from the Pacific or who has joined. I think Tracy and Steve, they are not in Pacific time zone, right? They are in Central.
Yeah, I think they are in Central. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's was it Brad? Who was it now who want to ask for the?
Ben, that would be Ben.
Oh, Ben, sorry, yeah. But is he the only one right now?
I think Didier would maybe interested in having more people from his team joining. But yeah, I can also sync with him, ask him directly. I mean, if he thinks that 2 or 3 folks would join if we move the meeting, or if we do, different time.
Or maybe set up a dedicated, maybe half an hour meeting with those people and someone from the rest of the group, let's say. So at least get the what do you call it, the overhearing or the sync somehow. I know, I mean, Ben was in one of our meetings, but he might not be able to join too often then, which is of course unfortunate if we should discuss things he is interested in more.
Yeah, there is also the risk of getting too fragmented if you start having like 3 meetings.
Yeah, for sure. So then it would more be like a follow-up or short sync meeting, just to make sure that everyone is on board with what happens if they don't follow the recordings from other meetings, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
All right. Anything else on the meetings?
No, not from my end.
Okay, so I put in the agenda some updates that I've done on my PR. But yeah, so I guess we don't have enough quorum to go through.
Not to decide on too many things. If there's something you think is worth to bring up, I've seen that you've made some updates. I haven't been able to review them yet, but I intend to, hopefully during this week.
Yeah, I would like to. I mean, I updated the structure according to what we discussed like a few meetings ago. I tried to address comments also on the spec document or the core document. Matthias was not happy with the way the list of fields was centralized, so I updated that. And
right.
But yeah, so I was thinking maybe to move the schemas out to different PR, also to make it the PR smaller and easier to review. And then I started introducing a mention of like CDEvents binary node. It would be all in headers. But I did not added it in this PR because I think it becomes too much, and I really would like to be able to move forward with the PR, and so we can add more things.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, I need to still add more examples. I'm aware of that, so that can also be done in a separate PR, but or you can do it here if you prefer. And then, I mean, if we are generally okay with the format that is in core MD, then next I would also do the same kind of re-render of the docs, but for the other part of the vocabulary. Yeah.
So yeah, I can focus on that pull request first, then, if you want.
That would be great.
So we get that through.
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to bring up was the discussion that you
right.
I think you mentioned with the aligning with the SIG interoperability, which I think it's very important, and probably one of the things that we should focus a lot on.
Yes.
Yeah, so I put a link in the issue there. I mean, we have some terminology for like the interoperability working group in terms of like pipeline stages and steps. We have our pipeline run and task runs.
Yeah.
And which is not aligned. So that's not good. And we might have other things which are not aligned in other parts of the dictionary.
Yeah, I haven't actually gone through all details, but that's just one thing I saw. So, which I think it would be good to consider.
The only thing I'm a bit concerned is that they say in the interoperability working group that the current list of name is not really sorry. To give the keys to my wife just a second.
Yeah, sure.
So the current list is not really like fully implemented. It's just something that was like looked like more common in the tables. So maybe we need to. I can try to circle back with the team there and to get a better feeling. What is the amount of change that they expect before we start implementing it? Because I don't want also to make too much churn in our implementation, because we need to update the POCs, we need to update all the docs and everything, and I don't want to do that 3 times.
Yeah. So I remember that one intention with the alignment there, or creating this vocabulary document at all. I mean, was of course getting all different terms into one document and comparing them, trying to group them in the same columns, so to say. And then there was an intention to have a separate summary line in the end of each such table stating what would be the common denominator for each of them. But we never came to that discussion really, to discuss and decide on what do we think is the best term to use for these different parts of a pipeline or workflow, then, or what we call it. But then the follow-up thing coming from was it Anne-Marie?
Anne-Marie, yeah.
Yeah. There she just started to use some of the terms as if they were the common denominators. So, for example, pipeline and stage and step. Even though we hadn't before that at least decided on anything. And I think she has a disclaimer somewhere.
Yeah.
Did that say?
Yeah.
Not really. This is just the best effort right now or something.
Yeah, the disclaimer is there.
So I guess the reason for my comment in that ticket might even be that we should maybe go to the interoperability group and try to see what is then the recommended name. Should we go for this then that is now stated, or should we go for something else? And as you said, it's not really, there's no consensus on what things should be called. And maybe it's hard to make such decisions on an interoperability group meeting itself. It should maybe be, I don't know, more reaching a more broad audience through a mail or Slack or combine something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Because I mean, if we just go forward and do something in our spec and it's not exactly the same as this here, people will probably ask, and we need to have the story then to tell or something, unless we are aligned. Or do you think it would be okay to release the 0.1 version and then change these names afterwards without any big obstacles?
Yeah, I think it's not ideal, but also 0.1 is it's like an alpha if you want to use that kind of terminology. So it's very early. Yeah. And I would like to avoid slowing us down.
Yeah, I totally
because of this. I mean, if we go in the way of like asking communities, making some kind of not poll or something like that, which names to use, and that's going to take months probably.
Sure, but maybe we could just make a statement in some of our documentation then saying that we aim to be aligned with the interoperability proposed vocabulary, but we couldn't afford to make that alignment in the 0.1 release. So people should be aware of that some of these terms might change.
That sounds very good. So we try to align with SIG interop names.
Names for the vocabulary of, yeah.
So how did you explain? I'm not good at taking notes.
Well, we don't we don't prioritize to align it for the 0.1 release or version.
Or maybe,
but people should be aware that those terms could change. The names of the events could change. Yeah. Properties.
okay, and maybe what I can also do, or we can do it here, reach out, join the interop working SIG to clarify plan for defining the name.
Yeah.
So to see if this is an activity that it's planned for, if so, how it's going to happen. If it's not planned for, if they like to plan it, if they need help planning it, and yeah, I mean, if it's not moving forward from their side, maybe it's something that we can try and help them drive as well.
So I added the issue number in the chat there. It's issue 18. So if we should have it in the doc, in the reference there.
Yeah.
Minimum. I also then added this to our release project to the 0.1 milestone, but I'm not sure if it, based on the discussion we have had now, if we should keep it there, or if we should move it away again to a later milestone. Maybe we should then.
I think what we can do on that issue, to add the comments from the discussion for what you proposed today, I say that part at least must be in 0.1, so documented. What is the intention and the plan? And then we can decouple it from the release. I mean, if it is possible to get it in, that's even better, of course. Just we don't want to block it.
But then this issue might render two different pull requests. One that is aiming at 0.1 release for the documentation primarily, and the other one for actually running them. Or do you think that's a bad idea to have multiple pull requests for the same issue?
No, no. I mean, kind of multiple pull requests. We can also split the issue too.
Yeah, of course, that could also be done. Maybe as we don't have any pull requests yet, we can maybe split the issue. Maybe that's even better.
Okay.
Good.
Cool.
So one thing that struck me now, the roadmap, you have it later there. If we should, I did some updates. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Yeah.
If we should discuss that in any sense, or what do you think?
Sure. Okay.
So one thing is that I renamed the actual project to not be specific to the 0.1 release, but to all other releases. So the project itself is the CDEvents releases, and then we have different milestones for the different releases inside that.
Okay, sure, sounds good.
So we get, I guess, then we put everything under all. Otherwise, it was a bit strange to put tickets under all, which were not connected to 0.1, as the project was called 0.1 anyway. So that's just a small change. And then I added some, let's see, short intro video and the governance part. I think the release announcement was added in our last SIG meeting or something like that to the project. Oh, 2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah. I added that comment there on the SIG meeting. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So need to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing that was brought up on the SIG meeting. So we prepare some marketing material and not just a release notes in the report itself for it. And then the governance there, I wrote it as we should plan for proper governance, but not actually introduce the proper governance yet. That should be a separate. It should not be related to the 0.1, but at least when we release 0.1, we should have a statement saying how we intend to govern this.
Okay.
And the short intro video was something. The idea there was to take something from more or less what you and Eric are often presenting in different forums, and maybe shorten it down to something even smaller, so that we don't need to redo that presentation live from time to time. Instead, we can have a short intro video that's quick to look at.
Okay.
That might be it. I'm not sure if we added anything else to the project. Yeah, I added the Java SDK. Yes. As that is in progress, and I discussed it with Jalander offline, that he thinks it could be part of the 0.1 version. He thinks it's mature enough for it possible to provide it to 0.1 timeframe. So therefore, I think it could be there. Do you agree on that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know he has done some work there. So yeah, if he thinks it's fine, yeah. I mean, if you get to the point where we are ready to release and we are like, okay, we are only missing the Java SDK, and Jalander says,
yeah. I think was it Google that was also asking for Java API, or was it?
There was Python.
It was Python. Maybe it was the Apple person then, or I think someone talked about that they wanted Java API as well.
Okay.
I don't remember now who it was. Well, of course, Jenkins uses Java, so I guess the Jenkins plugin.
Oh,
Java.
yeah, that's
Maybe.
true. I mean yeah,
so
the fidelity
the
folks.
Jenkins plugin
Probably.
in one as a proof of concept, then we should have the Java API for that as well. But then it is the Spinnaker proof of concept that Jalander is working on as well, which I didn't add yet to the proof of concept here. I'm not sure how we should do with those things that might be part of 0.1, but we don't know yet really. Should we add them anyway, you think, or?
I don't think so. So I would like to have in here things that we want to have, that we consider like blocking to 0.1. So like this is the minimum scope that we must have if we want to do 0.1.
Yeah, okay.
And then if we have more, I mean, I don't know how we can mark other items like in terms of interest or priority, especially for things like, I mean, the Java SDK and the Spinnaker POC. I mean, it's mostly one person working on those, and the same person is not working on other part. So it's fine. It can run in parallel, and there's no, like, we don't have to decide either we do this or we do that.
Yeah, but of course things can be put out of the release as well as we go forward if we see that they for some reason cannot make it or are not anymore required. So the Java SDK, for example, if we don't think that can get complete enough, then of course we can kick it out. But it's good maybe anyway to show that we intend to have it. For now, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. That's it, I think.
Okay. What else? Yeah, support for links.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to start prototyping the specification for this.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was going to ask if anyone wants to start working on that. If not, once I'm done with the other PRs, I can start working on it.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested in doing it. I think it would be good anyway to have some of your PRs, at least one of them in maybe before, because it might be dependent on it. And then considering my availability, I'm not sure I can manage to, but that's something that I might be able to do.
I mean, another way we can work that I've been wondering whether PRs on against Markdown are a good way to work. Another way we could work is like in RCMD and like work collaboratively on the spec there, and once it's ready, just put it in a PR and merge it.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you feel like, okay, you would like definitely to work on this, you're interested, but maybe not to do the whole work, or you want to start giving a direction for it, maybe you need some help, maybe having like a Markdown document makes it easier to collaborate.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I mean, going from an issue to a pull request is a rather big step in some cases. And also discussing or providing proposals in an issue is a bit, I mean, of course that could be done, but it's hard to collaborate in an issue in the same way, I think. So maybe it makes sense to, I'll see what happens when I find some time to work on it, if I think it's beneficial to set up a HackMD document for it, or if you start on it. That depends who is first.
Okay. Yeah. see what the other thing about this as well. But okay, yeah. So I think in terms of SDKs, I put a question mark if there was any update on the Python SDK, because I know Eric mentioned something, but he's not here, so maybe we can put comment here for the Java one. And yeah, then I just put the list of PRs that are open to review. I mean, one is the one that I mentioned already. There is the event published one that I still have to review. The Spinnaker POC, I did review it. I asked Jalander to make some changes. I believe he has done those. I need to re-review. Basically, the main comment from my side on that was I would still like to have like the previous POC. So either to add some flags to the script so that it's still possible to have like the existing POC or the POC plus by Spinnaker, or to make two different folders. I think Jalander added a flag, so I just wanted to try it out. And
yeah. And that's still in the CDEvents report. That's another thing actually that that struck me when I thought about the release there. Maybe it's not mandatory or a requirement, but it would actually be very good to have everything interesting for the spec moved from the CDEvents repo to the CDEvents spec repo.
Is this no? I think
the Spinnaker POC is in.
Oh yeah, it's on the CDEvents.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also have the discussions there, which we never come back to, more or less, unfortunately. I'm not sure if it's possible to move discussions from one organization to another one. Probably not. But if we should continue with discussions, we should have them in the spec repo, I guess, instead. It probably is not required for the 0.1 release, but it gives quite of a bad impression, I think, when we have things in multiple places.
Yeah, no, I think maybe actually we should do that for the 0.1 also, just to make sure there isn't any discussion that we missed, that maybe it's important. So yeah, I can.
So there is another pull request in the CDEvents repo from Eric about the source code change terminology, which probably should either be moved or cancelled.
Yeah, I think that one he did then on the CDEvent side as well. So I think it should be safe to close that one. But I need to just wanted to double check with him. See if I can.
So that one, yeah. The other ones are more administrative.
Yeah, I asked him to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
First, I asked him to resubmit on the other side, and then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and we have some issues there as well, discussing the proof of concepts and SDKs, for example, which is then also scattered, some in the CDEvents repo and some in CDEvents spec repo.
No, but I think it's quite. Yeah, we need to clean this up, and so that it becomes more clear. And
But when discussing, for example, proof of concepts in an issue, that doesn't really fit in the spec repo in CDEvents. We should probably soon have a, I don't know, community repo or something more overall repo, administrative repo for the CDEvents, where we can discuss such things, unless we have them as proper discussions here.
Yeah. Okay.
So there are some 7 issues there in the SIG events, and for example, there are proof of concept discussions there, which should be moved somewhere, I believe. Or do you think it's good to keep them in SIG events, as long as SIG events is actually governing the protocol?
I don't know. It feels like something that should be on CDEvents side. But we need a place where to store the POCs, and I think we had this discussion before, and I don't remember what was the conclusion, but whether to have maybe one repo per POC on the CDEvent org, or to have one single repo for all POCs. That becomes complicated, maybe in terms of owners and.
Yeah, I think we should have separate. I think we should have separate repos, but maybe we should have a common place to discuss such things.
Okay.
And not discuss them in the spec repo. At least I know I added an issue in the spec repo for a POC, but and there might be more. Yeah, there's another one. The Dora metrics POC is there as well.
Yeah.
So it's a bit all over.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I thought we could use just a spec repo, kind of a community repo, just to avoid having too many repos, but
it becomes a bit cluttered, I think.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think we can, as long as we don't have a new governance set up, we can have it like that and then clean it up when the new governance is in place, because then we might have another structure completely, or yeah, not completely, but there in that governance work, we might decide on the repo structure that it's more fit for purpose. So maybe we can keep it. It's just that it's a bit scattered now with things in CDEvents and things in CDEvents.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Maybe it makes sense then to create the repo to avoid moving things around too many times. The good thing is at least it's once it's in the same org, you can move issues around.
Yeah.
Between repos. I'm not sure if you can do that across orgs. I don't think so.
I don't know, maybe you can export things from one and import it to some other. I don't know. Might be so. Or not. Yeah, that's something to investigate.
Yeah, it's not that many issues, but maybe for discussions that might be interesting. So, okay. All right. Yeah, I think we managed to spend 40 minutes chatting, the two of us, which is good.
That's good. Yes. Okay.
Anything else you'd like to bring up?
No, I don't think so. I think we talked about this. Yeah, we already talked in the beginning about when we should have meetings, but we said we should discuss on Slack for the summer period if we should cancel some meetings or not. But I got the feeling that there are quite some people working more or less all summer now, so it makes sense to actually keep the meetings in the calendar and use those time slots for whatever purpose is best with the people that join the meetings. So I don't think we would cancel any of our coming meetings in July. I think Eric is working all summer, and I think Jalander was on the last meeting, and he is also working. And now Matthias might not join due to other priorities, but and I think you are available, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can keep the meetings, and if no one joins, okay, we just do a 1 minute and goodbye.
Yeah. So I will be away. I will be working next week, and then I will be away 4 weeks. And I know next Monday is July 4th, which is not a good day for US people.
Yeah.
Or well, it's a very good day, but it's not. They won't probably attend any meetings. So I think I intend to have the SIG meeting anyway, to at least join and see if anyone else joins. But that will be my last meeting before my vacation then, I think, except for interop or supply chain meetings that week, TFC meeting. So let's see if anyone joins on Monday.
Do you have any nice plan for your holidays?
I'll be 1 week sunbathing in Sweden, but in a better place than what I normally go to with the caravan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, at the rest of the 3 weeks, the other 3 weeks, I will probably stay in my summer house doing some needed work mostly, but also taking some days off, of course. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, then let's think offline on things that we discussed were needed, and otherwise talk to you then next week in the meeting.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for today then.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.